for joining me today. I'm Colleen Klimczak. I'm an organizational and productivity coach and a certified professional organizer. I own Peace of Mind Professional Organizing, LLC. Since 2003, I've been helping my clients live better lives through organizing and organizational and productivity coaching. I support my clients and my community with coaching, in-person and virtual organizing, my weekly podcast called Your Organized Life with Colleen Klimczak, a free weekly virtual productivity session called Finish Line Friday, a free weekly email newsletter, and regular content on Facebook and Instagram. I also offer presentations and professional development to groups and companies. And coming soon, I will be launching a membership circle to support my community with even more coaching and productivity content. Want to finish strong this week? Join me for Finish Line Friday every Friday morning at 9 a.m. Central for a 2-hour productivity session. Drop me an email at colleen@peaceofmindpo.com to request my Zoom room link, or follow the Zoom room link on my Instagram or Facebook pages. Welcome to Your Organized Life, episode 166. First, a public service announcement. I am partnering with Spoke and Vine, which is a lovely wine bar and restaurant in Evergreen Park, 95th Street and Kedzie in Evergreen Park, for Admin Night. Our first one will be February 3rd at 6 p.m. I love the idea of Admin Night. It is gaining popularity. A recent Wall Street Journal article entitled How to Turn the Bureaucratic Grind of Life into a Party explains Admin Night as an opportunity to pay your bills, figure out credit card statements, complete your kids' school forms, unsubscribe for streaming services, etc. The article called this the quicksand of tiny, dumb administrative tasks. It is the most tedious quicksand imaginable. I love that. So, for all of that, we have the solution. You bring the work, and Spoke and Vine will bring a beautiful and welcoming space, Wi-Fi, and their full menu for purchase. I will bring the encouraging atmosphere and guided work time using the Pomodoro method, a blend of work and breaks to maximize productivity. That is February 3rd at 6 p.m., and we hope to make this a regular occurrence. Okay, so today's topic. Today's topic is the last 72 hours. Let me explain. So last week, I talked about the how of routines. How to identify what your current routines are, how to add or delete tasks to create routines that work for you, that support you and what you want to achieve. And in the midst of that, I was also reminded of a truth about routines, and I realized that truth, that idea, was a great follow-up to last week's topic on how to establish routines. We talked about the how, and this week I want to give a vote for the why. Why it is important to establish routines. This is not my idea. Well, it's a really great idea, and I heard it first. How about that? From a personal development expert and author named Brendon Burchard. His website is brendon.com. He has written several books, hosts multiple podcasts that I listen to, and has an online platform that I have participated in. He has a lot of valuable ideas to share if you want to look him up. And I, as a business owner, marvel at how his business is structured. One of his philosophies is the idea that however we are feeling at this moment is a direct result of our last 72 hours. For example, if we're feeling awesome today, it may be because of something great that happened. Yay, right? But also because we are well rested and hydrated and relaxed and productive. In the last few days, we've worked out a bit, eaten nutritious food, and taken our medications or supplements as directed, right? Now, the opposite may be true as well. If we are tired or sore or unmotivated or just feeling bleh, it may be that we are sad or ill or fighting a cold for sure, but it also might be because we haven't been getting enough sleep, or we haven't been eating right or hydrating well, or we've been especially stressed. Both can be true, right? And as I took a break in writing this article to go and shovel snow, when I'm sore in a couple days, I will know that it's because of today's shoveling, right? But so knowing that this moment right now is impacted by the cumulative effect of the last 72 hours. And of course, further than that as well, but definitely the last 72 hours. That seems like an endorsement for establishing and maintaining those supportive and healthy habits and routines. In my career readiness training, I talk about Sunday night insomnia, which is absolutely a thing and is a great example of this last 72 hours idea. As I explain in class, let's imagine it's a Friday night. You are grateful for the end of the week and you stay up a little late with friends or watching a movie, but that's okay, right? Because you can sleep in on Saturday. And you do. And that shifts your usual 17-ish hours of being awake to start a few hours later. So, of course, you're also up later on Saturday too because you just weren't tired. And again, you get to sleep in on Sunday. Again, shifting your waking hours later, and then yikes, it is Sunday night and you need to get up for work in the morning. You have a hard time getting to sleep at your normal time because you just weren't tired, and then getting up early again on Monday morning is a struggle. You start the week feeling tired or like maybe you're coming down with something, but you're not. It's more likely a product of that last 72 hours. In the class, as we work on routines and time management and also sleep hygiene, I advocate for mostly sticking with your usual sleep schedule if Sunday night insomnia is something you struggle with. And if it's not, good for you. Totally get that. I wrote a draft of this article last summer, actually, when we were traveling for the annual concert that we go to on a mountain in Massachusetts in August. I was tired the Monday morning after our busy weekend and wrote the draft in the hotel lobby. And doing the math on that day, I had tracked the different time zones that we'd been in, the likely dehydration from the flight, and also not drinking enough water while we were outside for 12 hours on the concert day, the less than ideal sleep that most of us get in hotel rooms, etc., right? So the weekend was amazing, as it always was. And plus, in terms of metrics, we got a lot of exercise and also ate well and healthy. But it also wasn't a big surprise that I was feeling kind of crummy and had a headache on the morning of the third day, right? 72 hours. I also subscribed to a newsletter from a woman named Megan Crystal with The Well Dressed Life at thewelldressedlife.com. And in a recent newsletter, as she wrapped up 2025 and shifted to 2026, she said, "This year, I stopped treating how I felt day to day as something to work around and started treating it as something worth supporting." Obviously, that really resonated with me, which that quote to me is the whole reason why we establish healthy and supportive routines and then pay attention to implementing them to help us feel as great as possible every day. And that doesn't happen accidentally. What we do consistently, for better or for worse, impacts us for much longer than just a moment. So, how to work with this idea, right? First, it starts with awareness. We become aware when we realize that our actions and behaviors today have a direct impact on our future selves. We become aware of our current situation and of our routines, of establishing them and also adjusting them as we learn more about ourselves. As we start this process, we also need to establish our non-negotiables. In last week's article and episode, I mentioned that as I was working on updating my routines, my list of tasks for my morning routine was aspirational and would take way too long for any normal person's morning routine, and that I had to adjust my expectations and my list. And that is true. There are some great ideas that I will not be adding to my day, at least for now. And there's also a short list of tasks that must get done every day. Recently, for example, a friend asked, "What do I do when the energy and motivation just aren't there?" And the answer is to identify your non-negotiable routine tasks. Of course, the first step is figuring out what those are, and we can start with physical needs. It's a great place to start. Food, water, adequate hygiene, possibly medication or supplements. What is that core group of tasks that have to happen, rain or shine, travel or not, feeling great or feeling poorly, leaving the house at 5 a.m. or 10 a.m.? What is that short list? It varies from person to person, but for me, it would be to shower, brush my teeth and such, get dressed, and take my vitamins. The rest can likely wait if they had to. but those have to happen no matter what. Next step is to get good at asking the question, what have I been doing the last 72 hours that impacts me now? We can get better at pausing in the midst of our day to day to check in on how we're doing and feeling. When we do come to a point when we aren't feeling so great, physically or mentally or emotionally, we can take a moment and ask, oh, right, I'm really tired today, or I have a headache, or I'm really cranky. What has my last 72 hours been like, right? And the opposite can be true too. We could also be feeling fantastic if we've been on vacation and we've been doing all the things, and yep, I totally get that. So our 72 hours before impact today, this moment. And to bring us back to feeling better, we can take steps like our routines that we established, right, to get back to normal. Thankfully, we've already done the work of figuring out our routines, so getting back on track is easier than we think. Next level awareness is tracking, which I've been doing as I work on establishing new routines and habits. Awareness, right? Packed goals, right? We just talked about those. Tracking is huge. If we know our habits and routines impact us now and in the future, we can use this idea to track and improve on our routines. When we try a new habit out, we can look at today and also the last few days and ask how that habit is working out for us. I have used wellness factors for examples today, but you could also apply this idea elsewhere as well. A professional example of the impact of the last 72 hours might look like this. I have a few non-negotiable business tasks, the musts of a business owner. Even if I don't have time to do anything else in the morning, I must check my calendar for the day. I must check my email, I must check my to-do list for the day, and I must follow up on text and correspondence. So routines help us personally, but they also can help us professionally, and the same holds true. Those last 72 hours absolutely matter. If I'm feeling stressed in the morning about the company, it's most likely because one of those facets of communications to myself and others has not gotten the necessary attention in the last few days. And now that I know that, I can take time to adjust. Now that we know more with this idea of the 72 hours, let's use this information and philosophy for motivation to maintain our routines, to take care of ourselves this moment today, and also ourselves in the days to come. Support around routines and goals and getting things done is what productivity coaching is all about. If it's time to invest in yourself and explore coaching for organizing and productivity, I would love to hear from you. Drop me a line via email at colleen@peaceofmindpo.com or message me through my social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn. Thank you so much, and I will talk to you next week.